Hey YouTube, my name is Sam from the Starter Guide, and this is a video on how to make a very simple intro with just After Effects CS6 and Adobe Bridge CS6. First, we're going to need our programs. For instance, this will be After Effects CS6, which is going to open up right now, and should open up very quickly. And we're also going to need Adobe Bridge. I think that Bridge comes with Adobe After Effects, but I'm not quite sure about that. But if you're just curious about that, go to adobe.com and go to their Creative Suite site or the section of their website and just look up and read upon that. So right now, After Effects is starting up, and we should be starting fairly soon. This happens every single time. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to create a composition, which is just Command N. My resolution will be 1280 by 720, and I'm going to start with just a black background, and it's going to be around a 7-second tutorial. 7-second. Not tutorial, intro, I'm sorry. First thing we're going to do is create our base background, and that's, we're going to go to Layer, New, Solid, and for mine is going to be white. Yeah, white. And, yep. Exactly, make home size, but it's already 1280 by 720, so just hit OK. Now we're going to go to, if you're in the standard layout like I am, you're going to want to go over here to Effects and Presets, and it may take a while to load because there's a lot, but once it's done, search ramp and double click. You'll get this gradient kind of color thing, and you're going to want to go up to your options here. Your start color, you're going to drag to white, and my end color is going to be a little bit of a light gray, like that. You can choose to have it linear like this, or you can choose to have it be radial. I prefer radial, but that's just a preference. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to drag this dot that's over your center bottom stretcher. You're going to drag it, and you can see how it puts an effect on the ramp. You're going to drag it down a little bit so that gray, or whatever your end color is going to be just along the edges of it. Now that you've got your background and things like that, you can go get your text. So layer new text, and for mine, we could do the starter guide. We can move it over here like that. If your text is on kind of the same, if your text color is the same as your background, you may want to switch it up just a little bit. So for now, I'm going to go to a nice kind of a crimson red, kind of a Harvard red. So now, here's where Adobe Bridge comes in. You want to select along your timeline where you want your effect to come in. So I want mine to come in around 2 seconds. And you're going to want to go up to Animation and Browse Presets. And you're going to see Adobe Bridge CS6 opening up. This can take a while, and if it doesn't, I'll cut the video out. But if it doesn't, then I may leave it in. And oh, perfect, we're already started. So we're going to go to text right here, and we have a bunch. Do not participate. I've actually never gotten that before. We have a bunch of presets. Really cool. One of the ones that I use was tracking, and you can see if you just hit here, it may take a little bit to load in this preview area that's right over here. It may take a little bit of time to load because it's loading all of these frames and things like that, and this is a huge program. So give it a little bit of time. This shouldn't take too long. Hopefully it starts up soon. And there we have it. You can see right here, and it pretty much shows you what your effect is going to be like. So spasm, it kind of freaks out and then returns back to normal. Tracking, scrunches in like that. And you can easily just go back by hitting text up here, or you can hit these arrows. Again, you can choose from any of these, but for now, I think I want to go to tracking and use exactly the one that I did, which was stretchy, which is where it stretches out and comes back in. So select that, and then it's going to apply to your text in your After Effects composition. And it's going to apply the effect right where you put that marker in your timeline. So make sure you have that set to where you want it. So if you press spacebar, it's going to go frame by frame, and it's going to show you exactly what it's going to look like. Now, and if you scroll through from the first, you can see it doesn't do anything until around 2 seconds, which is where your effect takes place. Now, to make, well, this is my own personal opinion, but what makes it better is a little bit of motion blur. And you can see right here, when it starts right now, there's no motion blur at all. And After Effects, luckily, has a built-in kind of double layered motion blur setting where you click this little thing and it says enable motion blur for all layers with a motion blur switch set. So you want to click that, and then you want to go down here, and if you don't get this, and just hit this button right here, it toggles, and you hit that again. So now, if we re-render it, may take a while because that's when it starts, but if we go to 50, we can see that, yep, there we go. We can see that there's a little bit of motion blur in the text, and that's what I like personally. That's just my own personal opinion, but I think it makes it look a lot better. So now we've got our tutorial, we've got everything we need, we've got a nice intro. What more could we want? And this is something that I did, and you don't necessarily have to do. It's a very small detail, but what I did is I created another solid, and I made this one black, still the comp size, and the only thing I did was I went down to transform, and I adjusted the opacity so that, let's see, my effect starts, I believe, at around here. You can, here, transform, yeah, those little dots. Alright, so what I did was I keyframed my opacity to 100, and then right before the dot around here, I drained that down so that it's just a nice fade in intro like that, and then it stops, and then you have your intro like that. That's just something that I did, but it's your my own choice, it's your own personal preference. That's all you have to do. So now all you have to do now is render it. So you're going to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. You're going to get this right here, and these are very important. Your render settings are very, very important, especially when you're working in After Effects. So my render settings I'm going to share with you guys right now. You're going to double click on lossless, and if you're on a Mac, then you go to H.264. If you are not, then you can go to, I don't know actually. I really don't know. I've never really done anything on a PC. H.264, it's going to load up the options, and post-render action, none. Format options, you're going to want to put your video profile on high, level 5.1, 6:9 ratio, VBR on a first pass. No, do not check this. Okay, if you want audio output, good, make sure it's 48 and yeah, 48K in a stereo. Format options, this is just more stuff. I'm not an audio technician, so I wouldn't know, but I don't need an audio output. That's okay. Save it to wherever you want to, so I'm going to save this as intro tutorial. As you can see, I've already got my intro right here, and I'm going to hit render, and it renders incredibly fast. Literally, I think this takes only 15 seconds, and it's pretty cool. It's a really nice intro, really great job by Adobe for making all these presets, and really easy to work with in After Effects and Bridge, and that is probably the best noise in the world if you work with After Effects. It means that your render is done and that you have nothing left to do. Now you can minimize all of these windows, and you can look at your new intro that you have. I'm going to open up the MPlayer X because I prefer it over QuickTime, and here we go. Easy, nice intro. Perfect. Alright, thank you guys so much. I will be putting out more tutorials about After Effects and Bridge. If you want more, just comment, like, and subscribe. It doesn't really matter to me, but if you liked it, then hey, why not? This has been Sam from the Starter Guide, and I'll see you guys next time.